if they don't have to sell their chametz barley, but stores that have Jewish owners, whatever level of their observances, but we try to get them to sell their chametz. And so, and then when the buyer can't come up with the money, he buys a legal sale. He gives money. He's buying it, and it's a small amount. And right after Pesach, when you can already eat chametz again, that's about now it'll be about 10 o'clock at night. He buys it back, and then people can eat it. It's brought back because he couldn't come up with the millions of dollars that it would cost, what the worth is. Anyway, so anybody who wants to give me a power of attorney, I'll just write their name down and their address, and it's assumed that their chametz is put away in a shelf in the cabinet, and they won't touch it for 8 days. Anyway, so that can be done after the anyone who wants to do it, that can be done after our class. I'm going to start with Beis. The pasuk, the sentence with which this week's Torah reading, which is Metzora, where God tells Moshe, the Jewish people, Zos tia Torah sametzora. This will be. It's a peculiar kind of law, but it's a disease that they had in the times of the Torah and even in the temple, a disease that came from speaking gossip or slandering somebody. You should know that the Jewish people are called medaber. I mean, everybody. Again, I've told this many times that the world sees the three levels of life: mineral, vegetable, and animal. And man is relegated to the animal kingdom, but not by the Jews. The Jews see the world as 4 kingdoms, 4 separations: mineral, vegetable, animal, and man, who's called medaber. He speaks. He communicates. So, and there are many laws about, and it's so important. There are many laws that are very important to know about what you can let go from your mouth and what you got to watch out not to say it. And the word Metzora has come to mean, it does mean leper or that disease, that it's a lesion on the arm, the leg, and it describes in the Talmud what it looks like, and you have to show it to a Kohen. Is this contaminated in my hand? Am I impure? Am I not impure? And the Kohen the Kohen is the one that you go and show it to. But in the times of the temple and the times before the temple, even in the times of the prophets and the kings, there was a situation. Take the word Metzora, and you can see in it the word Motzi Ra. He brings out Ra, evil, from his mouth. And that elicits a big punishment for the person who speaks bad about another person, who slanders another person. And even if the slander that he says is true, you're not allowed to say it. You can say it in front of a judge if a person did wrong to you. You can say that, but not to anybody else. You can't say. You can talk to him and you can tell him, "Why did you slander me?" But you can't go around telling anybody else that so and so slandered me, because there is a mitzvah called Shmiras Halashon, watching what comes out of your mouth, watching the tongue. Lashon means language, but it means it means the tongue. Watching your tongue, and that's very, very. We're going to learn about that. That's very serious. And Jews are commanded, and those who learn from the Jews, let's see what a serious sin is. And so we'll learn base in Metzora, and he starts out with the pasuk, Zostia Torah Metzora. This will be the Torah, means the teaching of what you do, what a person who's Metzora, what he has to go through, what makes him, what the lesion on his body, and that's defined by all kinds of descriptions in the Torah, and the Talmud extrapolates, and then to get rid of it, the Metzora, who's contaminated. We're interested in, why did this person get Metzora? And because and it was because he doesn't shut his mouth. He doesn't keep his mouth shut. He doesn't count to 10 before he speaks. You're not allowed to badmouth anybody. If he did you wrong, go to him. You want to sue him? Go and bring him to court and talk to the judge, but not anybody else. It's nobody's business. You have to only talk nice, not gossip, not slander. And here they bring a beautiful lesson. And Adahu Dechsiv. King David writes in Tehillim, chapter 34, a very famous line in Tehillim that says, Mi ha'ish hachafetz chaim. Who is the man who wants to live? You know, there was a great tzaddik in our time who was known by this chafetz chaim, wants to live. because it's got the pasuk concludes me Shechavitz Chaim. Oyev Yomim Liros Tov. He wants to live. He likes days to see good. Shmor Lashon Chamerah. Watch your mouth from bad.
Rabbi Feller, do you mind if I interrupt for just a moment, please? It's Joel.
Yeah.
Israel is retaliating against Iran and Iraq right now. They're launching weapons. They're doing the retaliatory strike right now. I wanted everyone to be aware of that. It just launched probably an hour ago.
And the heavy bombs.
Heavy bombs.
Well, look at, they had a very big miracle this Saturday night, the Motzei Shabbos, when all the bombs that Iran sent, 400 bombs, they intercepted all of them. Not one person was killed. Maybe one Bedouin girl was killed by shrapnel. I don't know if she died. If anybody knows if she was injured, but it was a big miracle. And look, we'll see what happens. So why they must have contemplated, and they made a decision. And let's hope and pray. That's what we will dedicate this class to the victory of the Jewish people. And Iran is the head of the snake.
It's another Purim story. It's another Purim story because in this case, Ahasuerus knew about Haman's plan to kill the Jews, and he signed the decree. Biden knew about this attack on the 11th of April. He knew. Iran asked him if he would approve the attack against Israel, and he did. He knew.
I didn't hear that. Where did you hear that?
There's a news report from Reuters on that. They just came out and said that he was told on the 11th about the attack on the 13th, and he approved it.
But he fought against it. America brought down, Iron Dome. They brought down a lot. They were in the defense of Israel.
Yeah.
Even Jordan was in the defense of Israel.
Yes, even Jordan.
Well, listen, I must, since you mentioned this, I'll mention now. Again, it was a terrific victory. No Jew, no Israeli was killed.
Amen.
And even property wasn't damaged. It landed on their own territory. And Biden said it was an amazing victory, and he hopes that that's enough, and Israel doesn't have to take a revenge, because this was a revenge for Israel bombing the embassy in Damascus and killing 7 of their important people and big generals. And Biden begged them they shouldn't retaliate. They must have a good reason. But I want to tell you what I heard. I heard in a I heard it on my nurse's telephone that he gets these the videos, and they were interviewing. CBS was interviewing 2 generals about the tremendous victory. And one general said, well, we have to be humble about it. And the other general said, we have to thank God. It is wrong, and this is in scripture. A Jew can't say, Kochi v'yotzim yadi, asli is kol hachayil hazeh. my strength and my hand brought about this victory. You're not supposed to say that. It's God. This was a miracle. And I hope that the Jews keep that attitude going. And Iran will be afraid to retaliate and to have the same results that they had last time. There must be a reason why they thought that they have to teach a lesson to Iran. And let's hope that it won't drag the whole world into a war.
Amen.
Well, let's, we're dedicating this class to the victory of Israel. And that's what will bring about learning more Torah. So let's continue learning Torah.
And Rabbi Moshe Feller's birthday.
That will be the first night of Pesach. It's the Rebbe's birthday tonight and tomorrow. Yud Aleph Nissan, the 11th of Nissan, where the Rebbe would be now 122 years. And we believe that he goes on living on a higher level. And we say our parents' capital, even though they're in the next world. And it's, I told you, you say your own capital. My capital changes on the on the night of the Seder, on the 16th day, the first day of Pesach, which starts with the night, and I start to say capital 88. This year I was saying capital 87. You say the capital, you will that you enter the year you're entering. So I'm entering in my 87th year. I may have Esrim, and you can all wish me long life and good health. And that's Chillum, we're going to say, right now we're going to learn a pasuk Chillum, and this would be somebody who was celebrating their 33rd birthday, is Kapitel Lamed Dalet. So it says they're using this on the Zostia Torah Metzora. This will be the instruction for the Metzora. Hadahu dechsiv mi ha'ish hachafetz chaim. Who is the man who loves life? What should he do to have life? Guard your mouth from saying bad. Usfasecha midaber mirma. And your lip from saying guile. And they bring a story. Maise berochel echad. Here, this is a story of a peddler. Shehaya machazir ba'ayaros. That he would go to little villages. Shehayu smuchos l'tzipori. He would try to peddle his wares in the villages that were close to Caesarea. Or Machris, and he was a peddler, and he would say, he would shout, Boimer, man boy ben Sam Chaim. Who wants to buy a medicine that gives life? That's what he called it. Yeah, I have a medicine that'll give you long life. Hey, wouldn't you be excited to buy such a medicine? It will give you long life. Optimally. So I will come down and I'll tell you a medicine that gives you long life. So it says here, Rabbi Yanai Ahoya Yossi. Rabbi Yanai was sitting in his second floor apartment. Parshas Sor Clunier. He was sitting in his in his office, in his special room. Shamai de Machris. He heard this salesmanship chant. Man boys Chai, who wants an elixir, a medicine that gives you life? Amalei, Tosak Lahacha, Zabili. Come to me, interrupt to my apartment and sell it to me. I have a customer. I want to buy life. Amalei, the peddler, who knew that this was a great tzaddik who was calling him Rabbi Yanai. And he said that Amalei Lav Ant Tzaddik Le. You don't need my elixir. You don't need my medicine. You have life, long life, straight from God. So you don't need my medicine. Not you, or not anybody who's like you, who is a tzaddik. Saying who keeps his mouth holy, doesn't slander people, or doesn't say lashon hara. Amalei lab an tzarich le. You don't need it. Rabbi Yalai called him in. Shout out to him. Come to my apartment. I'll buy your elixir, your medicine that gives life. He knew that Rabbi Yanai lived there, the great sage. And he says, you don't need my elixir. Not you or anybody who's like you, your buddies, the rabbis. Etrach. Nonetheless, he says, please come up to me. Okay? So he came up. Salik Legabe. He came up to him. Hey, Silai, what did he have to sell? Look what he sold. He had. Hey, Silai, Sefer Tehillim. Hey, you gotta kill him. Now, in those days, it had to be written on, they didn't have printing yet in the time of the Midrash. But they had written scrolls. Just like there were scrolls of Torah, there was a scroll of Tehillim. And he took out a scroll of Tehillim. He says, you want to have thy medicine? I'll go show you the medicine. Hotzilo Sefer Tehillim. He took out the book of Tehillim, Heralo Pasuk. He showed him this pasuk. I'm selling life? Yeah, I'm selling life. I'm saying, who wants to buy life? Me or Isha Chafetz Chaim? Who wants life? Maksiv Basrei, how does this pasuk conclude? The Torah Lishon Chamelah. Watch your mouth from speaking bad. And I would venture to say that all this class watches their mouth from speaking bad. But this is a strong lesson. And you got to be very careful even of saying anything bad about anybody. Calling somebody a nickname that he doesn't like. Making fun of somebody. Hey, you want life? Because if you slander, that's going to cut short your life. So he showed him. The peddler took out a scroll of Tehillim and showed him the pasuk. I've never seen a scroll of Tehillim, but it exists even now. Makshi Basrei, Nitzor, Lishen Kamera. You want to live? Watch your mouth from saying bad. You can hear in Metzora, 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 who takes out Ra, and that's the punishment that cuts short of life is this leprosy. Shiur Meira, go away from evil. Basei tov, and only do good deeds. Don't do evil. Don't be a conniver. Don't be an embezzler. Don't be a thief. In other words, follow the Torah.
Amen.
So, Amar Rebbe Yanai, Rebbe Yanai added to what the peddler said. You know what? You know who else talks about watching the mouth? Amar Rebbe Yanai, Shlomo Machris. Shlomo the king announces in his book, Mishle, Proverbs, Shomer Piv Ulishono, somebody who watches his mouth and his tongue, Shomer Mitzares Nafshoi, somebody who's careful from what he says, somebody who guards his mouth from saying it's going off. You know, there's a good, what we learned from when you were kids, count to 10 before you make a reply. Think of what you're going to say. Is it good or is it bad? Is it going to get you in trouble with man or with God? Shomer Piv Ulishono. Somebody who watches his mouth, Shomer Mitzaros Nafshei. He watches from troubles, pain that he'll have. Peep, his mouth, Ulishono. And you can, somebody who watches his mouth and his tongue, that means from overeating also. If a person eats gluttonously, person is allowed to eat, but not gluttonously, because that can make him sick. That can make him tzaras nafshei. That can make him troubles for his soul, for his well-being. So Shlomo Melech, Rabbi Yalai told the peddler, I gotta support another support pasuk for what you're saying, that you gotta watch your tongue, what your tongue says, and that can't be overemphasized. And there are some observant people that made a society of Shemer L'Shoinai, Shmira Saloshin society. They do everything to teach people. They give out pamphlets and information. They have conference calls, because we can't the principle is silence is golden. You know, the pasuk in the teaching in of Rebbe Shimon ben Gamliel says, "Kol yom hagidalti bein hachachamim v'lo matzasi guf toiv mishtikov." I grew up amongst all the sages, and I never found anything better than silence. You know, I was telling you about this great sage who passed away in 1933 at 95. He lived a long life because he wrote books on watching the mouth to make people really be careful. You don't want to bring bad about yourself. So watch your mouth. Amar Rabbi Yanai. Now, hey, this was a dramatic moment. Rabbi Yanai is sitting in his study, and he's learning Torah, when all of a sudden he hears from outside, "Who wants to buy a medicine that gives life? Who wants to buy a medicine that gives long life?" And it seems the peddler knew who he was, who lived up there, and he called out to him, that Rabbi Yanai, "Oh, come up to me! I want to see that medicine." And the peddler says, "You and your like, those are like, don't need this medicine." And later on, he says, "Come up, I want to meet you anyway. I want to see your medicine." So he comes up and he shows him the pasuk and Tillim. Somebody who wants life, Shmor l'shoncha, watch your tongue. Watch your tongue from bad. Amar Rabbi Yoni. Okay, and Rabbi Yoni went and he brought from Solomon that Solomon says in the same thing in a different way. Somebody who guards his mouth and his tongue guards from the tzaras of his soul. And people, if they would shut up and not talk, silence is golden. They would be spared the tzaras of their soul. Now, so we have that the guy. Hey, it was a cute exchange. Nobody ever went around a peddler with a sefer Tillim telling people, "I have." He must have been a Lubavitcher. He wants to being the crowd of people to Torah and to teach them their what what to do. He probably would put on film with somebody who called him in, and that's a positive mitzvah, and he tell him a negative thing that he shouldn't do. Don't spread gossip. Don't slander. Don't give people a bad name. Then Rabbi Yannai makes this comment. Amar Rabbi Yannai, Kol Yomai Hayishi Kore HaPasuk Hazeh. Hey, my whole life I've been saying this pasuk. Mi ha'isha chafetz chaim oiv yomi l'rishtoy mitzol shen chaverah u'zosech medaber mirmo. I've been saying this all my life. V'lo ha'ishi yodea heichan hu pashut. I never really got the full meaning of this pasuk, what it means, till now. When you made it clear for me. He's complimenting this guy. Okay, you said that, people like me don't need this lesson. We watch our mouth, yes. But that it should be so, such a tangible item. Just watching, you put it in the form of a sale, and that when I heard it, and that and what you put something to it by saying, "Who wants to buy life?" I never looked at it like that. Buy life. I'm selling it. And he got him. When he came into his living room and he took out to kill him, he thought, Rabbi Yannai thought he's going to take out some kind of a potion, some kind of medicine. But what's the medicine he did take it out? It's kill him. And he said, boy, this was a lesson for me. I never really looked at it as so positive, so real, that this is exactly what it is. This advice from King David and King Shlomo is a medicine to keep a person out of sickness, out of tzaras, and to give a person life. King David he put it, in a positive way. Who wants to live life? Shlomo said, "Shemer people Shainai." Watch your mouth. He said, be careful what you say in your mouth, what it comes out of your mouth. Both of them are saying the same thing. And so Rabbi Yannai said, Kol Yomai Hayisi Kore HaPasuk Hazeh V'lo Hayisi Yodea Heichan hu pshat. I didn't know how exactly to take it. Buying a Meisha Chafetz Chaim. I want life. What's on life? But now, when you put it, I look at it as a medicine that actually gives life. You gave me a twist on it, and I understand it better. I didn't know an ad sheba rochel zeh, till this peddler came. The Hodienu And he taught me, what's the medicine? And he put it in the terms of a medicine. Samachayim. Maybe didn't put it in that lesson. Is the medicine. But the peddler did, and that made me see it in very stark, understandable terms. Therefore, Moshe Mazir es Yisrael. Moshe was warning the Jewish people, the Omer Lahem, and he was saying to them, Zois Torah HaMetzora. This is the teaching of Metzora. And then the Midrash gives, what does it mean, Metzora? Torah's Hamoitzi Shemra. Somebody, Metzora, this is somebody who brings Moitzi Ra, brings out bad. Shemra, they insert the word Moitzi Shemra. And that's and it's so it means anybody who says, "Oh, he's no good," anything even slightly, the rabbi said, even don't talk about somebody else when you meet a friend and you talk about business. Talk about the weather. Don't talk about somebody, even don't say good about it, because from saying good, human nature is that there's going to be a but he's not so good in this, and don't talk about somebody else. So this is a lesson that goes through generations. And antiquity, when people indulge in this sin of slander, gossip, obscenity, anything bad coming from the mouth, they would get it right away. Sick, would cause them it would cause them isolation too. They have to go out of the camp. And till it was clear what the disease that he had and what was the contamination that he had. And he had to be isolated. He had to go out of the camp of the city and sit in the outskirts of the city. Why? If he would, if he slandered somebody right away, he got this legion on his hand and his foot or somewhere on his body. And the Kohen had to tell him if it's contaminating or not. It's interesting, that says this is what that's again. That's the first pasuk in our Sedra this week. Zois Tia Torah Metzora, and the Midrash says here that this is Pichach Moshe Rabbeinu, our teacher, who wrote the whole Torah by dictation from took dictation from God. He was God's stenographer. The Pichach Moshe Mazir es Israel. The word Mazir means warning, but Mazir also means causes like from the same lesson of Zohar, shining. Moshe made the Jews shining by teaching this. Mazir, he made them shine. Mazir means Moshe warned them, but Mazir can also, you can translate it as, they're both right. The Jews, because they were so careful not to bring mouth, not to bring filth out of their mouth, not to bring out slander and gossip, obscenity. They shone. They stood out from all the other people. He made them shine through this teaching that God gave them. Watch your mouth. Don't be motzi ra, Metzora, motzi ra. Don't bring out bad from your mouth.
Amen.
Now this Gimel, and on this pasuk, a lot of the Midrash goes away on this pasuk. Zostia Torah Samitzayda. This will be the teachings of the Metzora, of the Metzora. They being another bad conduct in a person, conceit. He's going to talk about that now. Adahu dichsiv, ve'im yala l'shamayim sio v'rosho la'av yagia. If his pride will rise to the heavens and his head touch the clouds, Shio means leruma, his conceit. La'av, la'agna. So if a person is conceited, full of himself, till to high heavens, what does the pasuk say afterwards? Kiglolo lanetzach yeved. He will, the guy who's full of himself and conceited till his head hits the high heavens. He's so conceited, arrogant, full of himself. The next three words are almost comical, but they're not comical. Biglolo lanet kiglolo lanetzach yoved. He will wane away from his conceit just like glolo means dung, feces, what comes out in the toilet. Ki glolo netzach yoved. He will go lost, just like his, fill in the line, just like the word that starts with a S and followed by an H and the last letter is T. He will go lost forever, just like his dung. What happens to the dung is flushed down, even olden times, in the outhouses. That's what happens to a conceited guy. He goes lost, just like his dung goes lost. Ma glory malolo muzuhamin. Just like the dung stinks. Af hu mizuham. Similarly, the conceited guy who's full of himself stinks. That's what mizuham means. He's filthy. Roab, Yomru, Ayo. The people see him from a distance, won't recognize him and say, where is he? This big shot who is full of himself. They'll say, where is he? They don't recognize him. They see him, but they don't recognize him. He's so messed up. Shitein Kosruv B'Re'io V'Yishu Es Eineihem Mirachok V'Lo Hikiruhu. At the friends of Job, when he was smitten with Saris, that was to him it was a test. Job was ultimately got everything back, and he was a tzaddik, Job. If he was Jewish or not, we don't know, but he was a tzaddik. Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. Here there come now two rabbis who are going to give their statements. Rabbi Yochanan referred to them and Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan Omer, Osir leilech b'mizracho shel Metzora, Arba Amos. Hey, you can't, don't go to the east of the Metzora. Stay away from at least 4 L's. That's what Rabbi Yochanan said. Asher leilech is forbidden to go closer than 4 L's. You got to keep away 4 feet from him. Or an L could be 6 feet from him. That's a short distance, but you can't go by him. He's contaminating. And how far? You got to stay, Rebbe. Shimon, Rebbe Yochanan said you got to keep away. Arba amos, 4 amos. That's either 6 feet or 8 feet. An amma is either, by our measurements, 18 inches or 24 inches. If it's 18 inches, then 4 inches is 6 feet. 4 ammas are 6 feet. If it's 2 feet to an amma, then it's 4 ells is then 8 feet. But you know what? These Lakish, these two are always of opposite opinion. Although they were very close in friendship. I think Yochanan was the father-in-law of Lish Lakish. And he brought him close to Torah. He saw he was a very strong man and a good man. And he told him, your talent should go into Torah. And so they became, they were debating. Here's a debate. How far you have to keep away from the stinking Metzora. Boy, the Metzora is really getting it. So Reb Shimon Amar Apilu Meya Amar. You got to stay away even 100 amos. In other words, 200 feet. But the Medrash said, "No, please, they're not arguing." Yechanan said 4 amos, and Rish Lakish came along and said 100 amos even you have to. And they're not arguing. Why? Because one is saying, "Beloy pligi, manda amar daled amos." The one that says you have to keep away from him 4 ells, 4 amos. That's when B'shah she'ein haruach yotzei. That's when there's no wind. So the smell doesn't go more than 4 ells, 4 amos. Umanda Omar Kup Amba, one who says 100 ells. When there's a wind or it blows the smell, then the contamination, keep away. So they're just saying it, look all this trouble that came on the guy who slandered somebody else, who gossiped against somebody else. And this doesn't happen today because we're on a lower level. But this did happen in the times of the temple and before. But we get the principle is there. Sin brings sickness. He's going to say that too soon. Sin brings sickness. It brings contamination. It brings odor. Two other rabbis come along. Rabbi Ami Rabbi Asi. Lo hayu aili. They would stay away from the neighborhood or the dwelling place or where the Metzoras were sitting. A Metzora was isolated. They have to sit outside the city limits. And he says here now that Rishlokes karabe chame chad min hon b'medinta. If Rishlokes saw a Metzora, they had ways of they had to cut their mustaches. Their appearance was they had to have their dress, their cloaks in a manner that said they had to say, "Stay away from me, Tomei, I'm impure." And if by Rishlokes Karabi Kamer Chad Min Hon B'Medinta, if he saw one of the Metzora that was out of where he was supposed to sit and came into the city where he was supposed to be out of it, and he got to get him back. He can contaminate the whole city. So what did Rishlokes do? Margem lahon ba'abnaya. He would throw pebbles at him. To make him run back to where he has to sit in isolation. Amalei, he would shout at him, Puk lasrach, go back to your place. Lo zizahum Briasha, don't contaminate people. The Tani Rebbe Chia. What do they say? It says in the Torah, he's got to sit in isolation. And this is what happened if somebody was proclaimed a Metzora. Oh. It wasn't executed, but boy, he was shamed. And he was isolated. Bodo Yeshev, Levado Yeshev, he's got to sit alone and announce, don't come near me. I'm tummy. I'm contaminating. I'm impure. They conclude this by saying, Rabbi Eliezer ben Rabbi Shimon, Kat Chome Chad Minhon, if he would see a leper, Habe Min Tamar Mine Al Shum, he would guard himself from beginning close to him. I'll assume to see because of what it says in the Torah. Zostia Torah's Metzora. This shall be the teaching, of the Metzora. And the Midrash adds, what is a Metzora? Hamaiti Shemla. The one who speaks that brings the bad name to somebody else. But we get the message. The message is it's almost, we're talking here even about not saying bad about somebody who's bad. But you don't have the right to slander him, right? The law will take care of him. The judges and the courts, not you. You have to be quiet of what you think about him. Nobody wants to know what you think about him. It's none of your business what he is. You can try to make him better. That you can do. Be makar of it, but don't call him something. Maybe if you show some compassion to him, he'll change his ways. But don't talk bad about another person, male or female. I'm going to skip over to hay now. Again, on this pasuk, Zos Tia Torah Metzora, this will be the teaching from the life of the Metzora. Hadahu Dichsiv. There's a pasuk in Koheles, in Ecclesiastes, that says, Al titein espicha lahachti et psorecha. Don't let your mouth cause your flesh to sin or to be lacking. Al titein espicha. Don't let your mouth damage your flesh. And Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi explains, Posar Kra, Be'ela she'poiskin tzedakah b'rabim, the people who try to get people, they're collectors of a tzedakah, charity, amongst the masses. They ain't no need, but they don't give nothing themselves. They're calling out with their mouth, give charity, but where's your charity? So this is, and then this person brings tzaras on his flesh. Al titein espicha lachtoi es psarecha. So Rebbe Moshe ben Levi said these are the guys who are calling out and saying to everybody, give, but they don't give nothing themselves. Be'ela she'poiskin tzedakah b'rabim. These are the ones who tell others to give. There ain't nice thing, but they don't give. Rabbi Hanina says, no, you know what this means? Don't let your mouth cause your flesh to sin. Rebbe Chanina bar Papa Amar. You know what this is? This goes and exactly what we've been saying till now. Not just the ones who don't give money and tell others to give. No, it goes on the Elin Sha'omrim Lashon Hara. This pasuk, don't let your mouth cause your flesh to sin, or cause your flesh to be contaminated or hurt. These are people who speak Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara is gossip. There's distinction between Moti Shemra, slandering somebody. You know, he's a you're talking about somebody else, you have to choose your words, not to slander them. Or Lashon Hara is, oh, did you hear what this and this and this person did? You're not overtly slandering them, but you're telling bad about them. You're gossiping. And that's going to make you suffer. Your mouth saying Lashon Hara will bring your body to troubles. Rabbi Binyamin ben Levi Pasar Karya Bechanife Torah. Chanife Torah. Chonev is people who speak these are the people who try to compliment Torah scholars. I think they insincerely. A chonev is somebody who tries to get himself into good graces with somebody and compliments them, and you know, and you got to speak honest, and it's not what you think. It's not what you really think about it. You should. In other words, saying you don't talk about anybody. Rabbi Moni Pasar Kra Rabbi Money says, explains this passage. B'nedorim, people who make vows and they don't keep them. Your mouth, if you don't make vows, then that'll bring pain. That'll bring sorrows to your body. If you make nedarim, I promise I to do this. I vow to do this, and you forget it. And you don't do it. That brings trouble on you. Don't vow, and you won't have the trouble. That's picho lachti b'sorecha. Don't, King Shlomo is telling all these different things. Don't say Lashon Hara. Don't make nedarim, vows. I pledge this, I pledge that, and you don't keep it. You're up the creek without a paddle. You suffer from that. You know, you're not stealing from anybody, but you did something wrong. You didn't keep your word. Rebbe, the money pasar karya inventory. Esau Midrash Koheles. Rabbanan, you know, money says what the Rebbe, the Medrash says, what brings your flesh to suffer is when you make vows and you don't keep them. And the rabbis say, you know what? This goes on Miriam. She said that about Moshe, and that brought her. Although she got leprosy because of that. And she was sick with it for 1 week, but the whole people had to wait for her because she was a tzaddikus. It was in her schus that we have the well. Don't let your mouth mess up your flesh, your whole body. Don't give the right to one of your parts of your body, to one of your limbs or body parts, your mouth. They'll make your whole all your organs sick. Don't speak in front of an angel. Moshe. And she spoke about Moshe, his sister. You know, You remember she heard from Moshe's wife that Moshe stopped living with her intimately. They had 2 children already. And Miriam said, wait a minute. She heard from Zipporah that Moshe is not, we're not living as man and wife anymore since God gave the Torah. And, everybody else was, there was a prohibition from male and female cohabiting the 3 days before the Torah was given and when the Torah was given, but afterwards, they were told, everybody go back to their tent, go back to your regular lifestyle of living male with female. So when she heard that Moshe was not living with his wife intimately, hey, wait a minute, we're also prophets, and prophets can live with their wives. So I don't know if there was any religion that had this forbidden at that time. And that was never looked at as a sin, that was looked at as a mitzvah. So how come Moshe stopped living with his wife intimately? And that she talked to Aaron, they're a family. Moshe and Aaron and Miriam were 3 kids from the same father and mother. And so that she just talked to the brother, but hey, you're not supposed to say anything that you even think is bad from one sibling to another. They were all siblings. And it's held against her because Moshe doesn't do anything by himself. He does only according to what God tells him. And when God told everybody else, go back to your tents, and you can continue living with your wives. But Moshe, ata po emodi madi, Moshe, you stay with me. See? And so God scolded her, and for how could you speak about, he doesn't do anything without my telling him. I told him that he's the one prophet that can speak to me at any time, and he can initiate the conversation, which other prophets couldn't do. They heard when God appeared to them because they were so holy. But Moshe was so holy that he could initiate a conversation with God. But in order to initiate a conversation with God, or in order to be ready to receive, you have to be pure. You have to not have had seed go out of him in intimacy with his wife. So this was a case of Picha, where her mouth brought her trouble. She got Torah for a week. She was isolated. But the whole camp couldn't move until she was back. And she was again pure for that because her greatness. But it was for her to think bad about her brother. And that he would do anything without God telling him. That was a big mistake. I want to learn one more piece and tell you a little story, but this is the Nissan about the Rebbe. But I want to learn this ches. This is very important. I'll just learn a few lines here. What Amar Rebbe Acha. Rebbe Acha said it follows, May Adam Yehi Shelo Yavo'u Chaloim Allah. Hey, it's in the power of man to keep sicknesses away from him. Okay, we've been thinking the whole time. Shut your mouth. Don't speak Lashon Hara, and sicknesses will not come. But now Reb Aka's coming around and saying that, you see, Ma'adam Yehei Shelo Yavou Chaloim Allah. Man has the power that sickness shouldn't come. Don't do a virus and sickness won't come. My timer, where do you see that? The Omar Rabbi Acha. He wants to show it from a scriptural passage that man can see to it that he shouldn't be sick. Because our pasuk in Deuteronomy and Devarim, Shelo Yavou Chaloim Alecha. The pasuk says, Ve'ashir Hashem mincha kol holy. God will remove from you every sickness. That's in the Messianic times. But he darshans like this. Mincha, it's up to you. Mincha, it's up to you. Shelo Yavou Chaloim Alecha. It's up to you to see that sicknesses don't come on you. Rabbi Avin Amar Ze Yitzhahara. That if you don't listen to the Yitzhahara, sickness will not come on you. You gotta play. You have to realize what the Yitzhahara is trying to do to you, and if you don't listen to him, sicknesses won't come on you, because you gotta know that the Yitzhahara Shetkilaso Masuk. In the beginning, the Yitzhahara sweet talks you. Oh, this is so good for you. This will be so, this will give you such enjoyment. Let's say, and the Yitzhahara tells you, do it. Aber v'saipai. V'saipai. Mar. But the end, the result from your listening to the Yitzhahara, whatever his talk was to you to try to entice you and seduce you, oh, do this, you'll have such a good time. And the end is mar, bitter. It's sweet in the beginning when he tells you, oh, this is a pleasurable activity. But mar, but the end, it'll be bitter. So, and they elaborate on this. Rabbi Menachma B'Shem Rabbi Amar V'Heser Hashem Mimcha Kol Choli. God will take away from you every sickness. Zu ayin. You know, this is the eyes of other people on you. Yeah, ayin hara. You've heard of what ayin hara? It's you have to watch out for ayin hara. And it's to the point that it says, Al Daitis Rabbi Elazar, Tishim B'Tisha B'ayin. 99% of people leave this world from ayin hara. People looked at them covetingly, coveting their this and that, and that you have to watch out for ayin hara. So tishim b'tisha b'ayin. 99% leave this world because they were given an ayin hara. Yeah, we believe in that. And one dies naturally, like a vision from heaven, where, you know, lifetime is not shortened. You know, when in the Alter Rebbe was brought when he was 3 years old. He was brought to the Baal Shem Tov. And at 3, he was such a smart kid. And he already knew Torah. And he was smart and he could answer questions. And they brought him to the Baal Shem Tov, and the Baal Shem Tov saw what a smart kid he was. And he told the parents, cover him up. Don't show him off. Don't show him off. Why? Show him off. People will be coveting, I wish I had a kid like that. And, you know, and they'll give him ayin hara. And that's dangerous. So we believe in ayin hara. And that's why don't show off. But, you know, there's all kinds of ways to ward off ayin hara. But especially children are susceptible, talented. I don't know if it has the potency ayin hara now that it used to have, but it's something that the Baal Shem Tov told the parents of the little 3-year-old, cover him when you take him around. He was a beautiful child, a brilliant child. Cover him up, don't show him off. That's what the Baal Shem Tov said to the parents of the Alter Rebbe. And we try our best not to show off. Okay, I think in honor of this, this is the Alter Rebbe's, the Rebbe's birthday, and people are celebrating, and there's a parade going on right now, I believe, by Rabbi Shigalos. I just found out about it. I made a might if I knew about it before. There was a parade, a beautiful event last night at Rabbi Grossbaum's Chabad house in Minnetonka. This old one, he's almost done with his. They're putting up a $6 million building, and it's almost done. And you'll be informed, and if possible, there'll be a dedication. And we had a brilliant speaker, Rabbi Benny Zippel, our man in Salt Lake City, and he's very close. He took 3 governors of Utah to Israel. He made, and it's a Mormon state. He made a lot of Mormons friends of the Jews. But I want to tell, I'll tell you, I don't know if I told you, but it's a famous story about something. There was a girl that was an Israeli girl, an 18-year-old girl. The family came 2 months before, the Rebbe in Crown Heights. They were Israelis. And the Rebbe, they came to be by the Rebbe, and the Rebbe gave them blessing and dollars before they went back to Israel. And but one daughter, he gave a special blessing. You should be 6, 7. We should hear good news from you always. Okay. They go back to Israel. And 2 months, there were about, there was a younger daughter, an older daughter. And this was on the first day of Cholamoid Sukkos. They wanted to go to the Kosel, both a younger daughter and an older daughter. The older daughter's name was Rivka. And so nothing wrong with going to the coast. Well, it was peacetime, and but she was a very curious daughter, and she went into a side of the coastal of the wall, and it had there was markers not to go in certain places, but she was very investigative, and she was very curious, and she didn't see anything would happen. And after hours, she was supposed to come back with her sister. She didn't come back, and she was missing. And whoa, the family was so worried. She was at the Koso, and now she's missing. And so after a day or so, they called the Rebbe, and the Rebbe said, "Don't worry, you'll find her. Nothing bad's going to happen at the Koso. Don't worry." And like the Rebbe was telling them not to worry, they'll find her. Anyway, but it didn't happen. They didn't find her. And they thought maybe somebody kidnapped her, but it was in broad daylight when she went there. Her sister came back, and she didn't come back. They were supposed to meet at a spot and go back together, but she didn't show. Anyway, I'm telling you the story because one of the heroes of the story somebody that I knew, and that's Herman Wook. He came to speak for us once, and he was a friend of the other hero of this story, General Ben Hanan, and they went into that cave section, and Ben Hanan, didn't have to worry about where he went. He was a general and knew he was competent. And I think they went into this. I don't know if you've ever been by the coastal. There is a side entrance. There's a side, not entrance. There's a dugout. There's places where people sit. It's also part of the coastal, but it goes deeper. And that's where people are not supposed to go. But anyhow, this Herman Wook wanted to see it, the caves in the side of the coastal. So he went with Ben Hanan, and they heard cries, and sure enough, what happened was that Rivka had tried to investigate a cave, and she fell into the cave and couldn't get out, and she was there 4 days without eating. You can imagine the family. What they're thinking is that she's 4 days. Where is she? And they found her. And of course, Ben Hanan, the general, went down and carried her out of there. And they called the family right away. We found her. She's alive. What held the family was that the Rebbe said, don't worry, you'll hear good news about her. And the girl herself, what kept her was that the Rebbe told her 2 months before, we should hear only good news from you, and gave her an extra $1. And so that was a famous, and these two heroes were Herman Wook and General Ben Hanan. Also, the chief rabbi of Israel, who was Rabbi Israel Lau. Now his son is the chief Ashkenazic rabbi. The Rebbe told him that he would become chief rabbi of Tel Aviv, and the Rebbe told him, he asked the Rebbe if he should be a candidate. He says, you definitely be a candidate, you'll win. And then after he was a couple of years the chief rabbi of Tel Aviv, he came to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe told him, there used to be, there was when the Rebbe, the last 6 years, I think, of his life, 7 years, every Sunday, people could see him and go up, and he would give them $1, and they would not use that as $1, where they should give it to tzedakah, to charity. But nobody would give that $1. That $1 they kept as a charm, and put it in their wallets or their pocketbooks, and they would give $10 they would redeem it for at least $2, twice as much as the Rebbe gave, but some would give 10. What did I sold it? I gave $1 to Bob Dylan, and he with that $1, what he redeemed it with, we were able to buy the building that we have for Rochester. Our Chabad house in Rochester at the Mayo Clinic. But anyway, So she got this little girl that held her while she was, nobody was allowed to go there. Just so happened that the Shana general could go there, and he heard the cries. So and the Rebbe, what the Rebbe first, the Rebbe told them when they were there 2 months ago. The Rebbe told her, "We should hear only good news from you." And that kept her, the girl, didn't know that the family called the Rebbe for a bracha that they should find her, and the Rebbe said they will find her and everything will be okay. Who but a Novi, prophet, could take it on his shoulders and say everything will be okay? And thank God everything was okay. And people go to now there are tens of thousands of people visiting the Rebbe's sacred resting place. One of them is Mendel, my son, and his two youngest sons are with him, and they went to pray there and participate in festivities that are on this day there. And so it's a day that, anybody can, it's a day that can write to the Rebbe and ask for a blessing or anything that you need. And you can get the address. I mean, you can email it or send a letter to 770 Eastern Parkway, Brooklyn 11213, and the letter will send it to the Rebbe's name, or say the sacred Rebbe, blessed memory, and they'll get it to the OHEL. And so many stories I've told that in the Zohar, the potency of a tzaddik is even greater after he passes away than when he was alive. And so many stories have been told, blessings, children being born, and all kinds of things people ask. So it's and what the Rebbe had accomplished in his lifetime, the Rebbe brought about a whole new happening in Israel that had become a very common thing till our time. There was the synagogue and the house of learning. The Rebbe caused a new thing, and 4,000 of them sprung up all over the world. The Chabad house, or the Lubavitcher house. So we owe the Rebbe a lot, and this is a day of resolutions that you take upon yourself, Jew and non-Jew alike, to upgrade your keeping of the Torah, the 7 Noahide laws, and all the ramifications, giving more charity, studying more scripture, and increasing in deeds of kindness. This is a day to make resolutions for that. And then the Rebbe, his power and his goodness shined through the world and continues to shine. So latch on to that goodness and write to Rebbe a letter and what you need, and give your name. For a Jewish person, you give your name and your mother's name. For a non-Jewish person, you give your name and your father's name. And ask the Rebbe for a blessing. And so many things have have come to be through the Rebbe's blessing. So you should, and in general, everybody should bless each other. The blessings, everybody has the power of blessing. And should be very, very careful. And that's one of the things that, you have to watch the mouth, never to curse. Curses hurt, unfortunately. Don't curse. And bless people. Let me bless you all with a good Shabbos and a happy and a kosher Pesach. And if anybody wants to sell their chametz, they could either tell me, give me their address now, or you could call me. My number is, I'm just asking as your, you give me the power of attorney to sell your chametz. And so my telephone number is 612, my cell, 612-743-7688. That number again, 612-743-7688. Or my house number is 651-698-1298. Let me wish you all a very happy and kosher Pesach, and let's hope that, the rabbis told us in the Talmud that the Jews were redeemed in the month of Nissan, and they will, the first time Passover was in the month of Nissan, 3,400 years ago. And Nissan means miracles, and in Nissan they will be redeemed again. Let's hope that will come to be. We see miracles in our time, especially with Israel. And let's hope what Joel told us, that they started the reprisal against Iran, and I hope that will be very successful, just like last week's reprisal.
Amen.
Have a very good Shabbos and a very good all the best.
All the best.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi. Thank you for the share.
Good Shabbos.
Thank you for the class. Thank you for the learning.
Thank you, Rabbi.
I would venture to say, like what I said at the start, as I know most of the participants in this class do watch their mouth. I haven't heard from anybody any slander against anybody else from members of my class. It's like what the rabbi said to the peddler, "Oh, come and tell me what your medicine that gives life is." And he told them all. He knew who he was talking to. He said, for you and guys like you don't need this medicine. And meaning he was saying, you watching your mouth, you know that what it says in the Tillim. Who is one who wants life? Watch your mouth from bad, from evil, and your lips from saying guile. All the best, and a happy kosher Pesach.
Amen.
And as of now, we'll have this on Zoom. Probably I'll be from the Lubavitcher house, but we have the Zoom, the same computer, and you can just dial as you have till now, and we'll put it out. Ryan will help me, and we'll get it out. And we'll have another class, God willing, next Thursday night, which is in the middle of Pesach. But it's when you can have a Zoom class on Pesach. It's called Hamoyed, the intermediate days. All the best.
Amen. Correct.